all the appropriate buttons. We'll see. So today we're trying an experiment. This will be a cool experiment. So we're actually streaming to 2 YouTube channels. What? The Monday Morning YouTube channel and then our YouTube channel as a backup. So there you go. Let's see. Jen, Audrey, Deborah, me, Big Kitty, Ella Paul, Conan, Crypto Migos, Joseph, AI. You know why I like this one better? Because you can take comments and put them right on the screen, which that's pretty cool. So there's some merits to using StreamYard. Not that the technology at Monday Morning wasn't good. It's just it's terribly expensive, and StreamYard is not. All right, Andy, JD, Mr. Greenfeld. I'm sure it's not Screenfeld, right? SG, no. Michael, Demayan, Bill, 380. All right. Well, 3801, really. It's even heavier. Okay, so there we go. All right. We'll get into it today. We're going to talk. I'm going to remind everyone about deflationary money because, that's the world we live in. Even though people always want to talk inflation. You hear if your gurus mention the word inflation and they're not joking, turn them off because they are dummies. I mean, we're way past that. All right. We're way past that. If you're gurus, first of all, there are no gurus. That's a BS term. But if the people that you get your marching orders from, which you shouldn't, are telling you about inflation, they're wrong. If they're teaching you some system for trading squiggly lines, they're wrong. If they're telling you to buy gold, they're wrong. Most of these dudes pushing gold don't know jack smoke about gold. These guys are like, you got to buy gold. You got to put gold in your portfolio. Bull crap. Join me at the refinery, dummy. If you haven't melted a couple $1 million, $100 million worth of gold, I don't want to hear it. If you don't know what it takes to take jewelry, go through, melt it again into Prel after you've done a sample rod, put it in a mass spectrometer, surveyed it, then you've melted it again, turned it into Prel, put it into nitrohydrochloric acid or aqua regia, whatever you want to call it, done a chemical refinement, refined it back down to pure, 3 nines fine, not this 2 nines bullcrap, 3 nines, poured a 400 ounce bar, shut up. You know who you are, you old half-ass hacks talking about buying gold. You don't own nothing. You guys own paper gold. You own synthetic gold. You don't own any real gold. Oh, bunch of bull crap. There's a lot of people telling people a lot of stupid stuff. So you just have to be very careful. You should assume everyone's got an angle, man. So just assume everyone's got an angle, me included. You should be like, well, this Nick guy, I don't know, man. He's got an angle. I'll tell you my angle. I'm rich. I'm trying to be wealthy. That's my angle. Yes, it's a live show. There are still people. God, you guys don't read the chat. Listen, man, if you're in the chat, if you're not sure what's going on, just go up like 4 chats. Let me give these dudes a YouTube link real quick. So I have a thing called TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy's dope. Megan, can you put a link in the heavyweight chat so that the heavyweight people can come find? Anyway, whatever. All right. Woo. Simon from Britain. It is, man. Listen, if you're in England, it's beer o'clock all the time. All the time. Okay. So we're going to talk deflationary money just a little bit, just to remind everybody that that's the world that we live in. We are going to take a quick look at markets. The crypto asset markets are very quiet. The main story right now is this debt ceiling stuff. It looks like that's pretty much behind us. Again, a quick summary of the debt ceiling argument is this. You've spent the money on your credit card. You are the U.S. government. Now you're not only going to argue over whether you're going to pay that debt, because you're not going to pay the debt because, You've already said we're never paying the debt. Okay. So what you do is you tell the credit card company, which is weirdly a bunch of people that own the credit cards, hey, should we raise our credit limit? Extend more limit, extend more credit. And everybody who owes money that's never going to pay it back, what do you think their answer is going to always be? This is an idiot carrot for idiots. Anybody that has followed, oh my, clutching my pearls while I watch with these stupid debates. This is dummy bait. If you've been caught up in this for anything more than 15 seconds, you might as well be watching Real Housewives. It's the same bull crap. Well, yeah. And it's got about the same value and same merit. So just, your inputs determine your outputs. Be very careful. Is there anybody here that watches more than 15 minutes of reality TV a month? Go on, admit it. That's right, it's debt ceiling theater. So you just gotta, God. Anyway, so we'll talk about that a little bit. Let's take a look at markets first. Then we're gonna get into some AI news. I almost think we should do AI. No, we're gonna do markets first, AI news second, because I'm just gonna zip through the markets very quickly, because it is what it is. It's very investable right now. I'm not going to tell people what to buy. If you're a heavyweight, we do get a little deeper into that. If you're a private client, we get a lot deeper into that. Cogito is coming tomorrow. Matter of fact, I may even be able to get the symbol to show up there. Let's see. Let's have some fun. So let's go look at markets. Okay, good. Oh, I like when I see this. I don't watch 15 seconds of reality. Good. Okay. So let's do this. Let us see if we can add. Oh, it is added. That's weird. I don't even remember doing that, but I think maybe it added it to my, oh yeah. I have the app linked up to it. That makes sense. Okay. So CGV, only available on Binance Dumb Chain. An incredibly stupid decision by the management team, which you guys know I'm a big fan of Singularity Net and what they do. And this is not to besmirch them, but the Cogito team, other than Ben Gortzel, is almost exclusively former HSBC executives. Does anybody here have anything good to say about HSBC? Just anything at all. Anything that HSBC, and again, I understand you work for a company, you're not there in their executive brand. But listen, if you work for a cartel, a drug cartel, if you work for the mafia, it doesn't matter if you murder people or cut people's heads off or you're still part of the organization. Right? So I don't care. Oh, well, I just manage interest rate swaps in some small office in Singapore. Bull crap. You're part of the problem or you're not. You took their money, then, come on, bro. So there's not a lot good you can say about it. Well, I'll tell you where they're really good at. Okay, they used to sponsor a team. That's good. They sponsored an F1 team. That's good. Yeah, sweet. I remember, they were the #1 bank for participation with drug cartels, money laundering, and terrorist financing. So that's pretty cool, right? They nailed that. They're like the top dogs at that. They and Standard Charters, actually, they went in their South American branches and Central American branches, and they cut out larger window openings at their bank tellers so that people could hand in bigger suitcases full of money. I'm not going to say it's drug money, but perhaps we'll never know. But have you ever seen someone bring money into a bank in suitcases? It's not your neighborhood milk salesman. It's not a farmer. They don't deposit money in suitcases. So stupid. Oh, they're so scammy. Anyway, yeah, it's an amazing money laundering bank. Anyway, those are the executives at, other than Ben, at now. Could they have changed their tune? They're better now. Listen, I worked over here. I learned all of the terrible things. You know, I was part of the problem. Now I'm going to be part of the solution. Well, maybe, but let me tell you, they don't listen to their advice, because I know a good advisor from SingularityNet that told that team, wait until you have the Ethereum token ready to launch. And because they know so much, these executives at HSBC, because they know so much about the crypto space. They're so wise. They understand it so well. I mean, they're here early, right? 2023, you nailed it. Bitcoin white paper, October 2008. Launched January 3rd, 2009, 2019, 2023. Oh, yeah. They're super early. So they really get it. And us hillbilly ass, crypto peeps, what do we know? We don't know anything. We're so silly. We're so dumb. Why would we think that the most important, whether you like the fee structure or not, layer one protocol, Ethereum, it would be important for a launch? No, it's cool. Let's launch on Binance Smart Chain, where all of the other biggest scams launch. Why? Because their bar is so low, anybody can launch anything on there. And you get to use PancakeSwap. Yeah, that's just as good as Uniswap. It's like basically the same thing. Huh? I mean, God, that's the problem. Everybody's an expert. So then and I know for a fact they got advice. I'm going to leave it alone at this, but they got advice from someone at the SingularityNet team that's very wise to these launches, has launched a bunch of projects. And they just, we know better. We know better. So do not participate in, well, man, you better be careful. I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do, but be very careful tomorrow morning when this bad boy opens up with no liquidity. None. It's going to be super volatile. The only people that are going to be selling tokens are these I'll call it like it is. These non-US residents that got tiny $1,000 allocations of this token that are flipping it like flea salesmen. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. If you intend to buy this token, I would say don't do anything on day one. Stay away from it. You're going to end up getting murdered on slippage, like absolutely bludgeoned. The only good thing is if your transactions fail, it only costs you about 10 cents. But if you do MetaMask transactions, even though the transaction is cheap, if you're doing a transaction, there's 20, 30, 40% slippage, you're just giving that money away. So I would just be very careful, man. I would just be very careful. And yeah, what a dumb move, man. What a just an amateur hour move. And all they would have had to do was wait 3 days. You realize middle of next week, late next week, they'll have the ERC20 token. It's so dumb. These people, what happens is, in all these startups, everybody gets so excited about the money. See, Sophiaverse, they're going to launch correctly. They're going to do it right. And Sophiaverse, in my opinion, is going to be successful. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's look at regular, what do we see? It's all a macro story right now. Oh, but the debt ceiling thing is solved. Yeah, but no one cares. Because that wasn't a real problem. It was a fake of our own creation theater. It's political theater problem. It's not a real problem. The real problem is we live in a deflationary money environment and everybody's doing stupid math. Now, we're getting the first little bitty sniff of some Fed governors giving interviews talking about a potential pause. Yeah, of course they're going to pause, right? Like, we're not going to go down that whole path of like this whole failed experiment of what the Fed is, but they will likely pause. They're starting to talk it into being, and you can't wrestle inflation if it's not inflation. 2, you can't do it with coupons. If the Federal Reserve had real money, if they were using real money, we'd have a whole different bag of problems. Then they'd be like these other central banks that also aren't getting it right. Do you know how many QEs, they call it QQE. Do you know how many QEs there have been in Japan? Anyone want to throw a number up? How many QEs? Listen, if something's quantitative, don't you think that there should be some math involved? Like, this is a quantitative easing monetary policy decision. Okay, cool. Where? But you use coupons. Yes. So it's not money. Nope. So how are you going to affect the money world? What? Phillips curve. Don't you listen to me? So if you reduce what they're doing, it's silly. But if you look at because QE was not the great experiment, it was tried in Japan for a decade before Bernanke invented it. And it failed here, and it's continued to fail here. And in Japan, where they actually use real currency units, it's still failing. They're on like 26 of them. 25 or 26, depending on which ones you count. Some of them are big ones, little ones. If you have to do something quantitative 26 effing times, it's not quantitative. Listen, if you take a math test in 6th grade and you fail it 26 times, you suck at math in perpetuity. You should never be, man. They should tattoo a calculator to your cheek because you're not allowed to do math in public, period. This is the whimsy. So anyway, you have to you listen to that political theater and all the absurdity of it, and you just factor it as kind of like, what would dummies do? And the other thing is, you think to yourself, oh, wait, dummies are the people that are absorbing this BS over, these people are gobbling up what Steve Leisman and the other dummies, like I'm convinced Steve Leisman is a really bad implementation of AI, some embodied dummy robot that they just made like kind of chubby and gross. And he always looks like he's sweating at inappropriate times. I'm very uncomfortable when he's on. I always think like, oh God, like this is the guy in all the serial killer movies that he's the bad guy. He's been in one scene, but you're like, yep, that's the one. That's the serial killer. Anyway, so like, it is important to understand what people think, and people think in a very flawed way, and they still believe this kind of nonsense. Now, less and less people are believing the nonsense, but it is still the idiot carrot. So we live in this world where they dangle idiot carrots. People still consume. There's still people that get their marching orders from Fox, right? Like Fox, garbage. CNN, garbage. CNBC, garbage. Kramer's not garbage. All you have to do is do the opposite of what Kramer says and you get paid, which is great. Now you have a reverse Kramer. Like, stick with Kramer. Yeah. The problem is every now and then you'll get Mark Cuban, who everything he says is wrong, and Kramer, and they'll take opposite sides. And this is a problem. This is like a paradox, because you usually go opposite of what Kramer says and opposite of what Mark Cuban says. But if Mark Cuban and Kramer are inversely proportionate, you're stuck. Ooh. Ooh. So anyway, but as it applies to us, where are the investable areas? Layer ones are investable. Until the Fed admits to rolling over, which of course they have to pause, they'll never admit that they just don't know what's going on or that they don't care what's going on. Remember, these are all rich people. They're all rich people. They do not care at the end of the day. You think Jerome Powell loses any sleep if your mortgage gets packaged into some garbage and sent off, or if you can't pay rent, do you think any of these people really care? Really? Be honest. You think Jerome Powell loses any sleep? You think Janet Yellen will never have another recession? What kind of statement is that? We'll never have another sunset. What? What are you talking about? The sun's coming up now. It's going to be sunset time. Nope. Never again because of monetary policy. What are you talking about, dummy? Oh, it makes sense. That's definitely who we want running the Treasury. Wah, wah. Like, come on. Anyway, so you just have to factor all this stuff and realize, okay, like they are prideful douchebags. So what does a prideful douchebag do when they're wrong? They're not just going to say I'm wrong because they can't, because they're prideful douchebags. So they have to say, well, we're going to stop and we're just going to look at the economy. No, you're not. You don't look at nothing. You guys don't look at the economy. You look at really, really bad JOLTS numbers that are always outlier, stupid numbers that have no relationship to the economy because of like all the other data. And then you're gonna try to hammer that into a Phillips curve, which is not a way to manage a very complex world, global economic system with all sorts of really interesting inputs. Like, you can't reduce the whole world's economy to a Phillips curve. It's maniacally stupid. But if you think about a bunch of rich people who clock in, they give their press things, they clock out, they go to a luncheon that they get paid $150,000 to do, then they go car shopping, or they take their, the rest of their creepy family out, and their whole life is espousing wisdom, right? So like, okay, bro, whatever, man. But people still believe these octogenarian fools. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll get some regulators in there that'll regulate. We'll get some legislators that, whatever, these are all pie in the sky. I think we need AI. Did you guys see the report that CEOs are starting to worry that they're going to be replaced by AI because the board members are going to say, wait a minute, I don't want a human leading this company. I want AI leading this company. And then CEOs are going to get displaced. Who'd have thought that CEOs might be on the chopping block? Clutches pearls, breathes through teeth. So what's investable? Right now, layer one's an AI. I wouldn't deviate. So layer one's Ethereum, Cardano. Why Ethereum? Yes, it sucks. Are they going to ever upgrade? Not probably. Do they care? No. And no one else seems to care. It's still $1,800. It should probably be about $200. Whatever. Cardano, down right now, but starting to kind of flatten out, level out. Matic layer 2, I think it's a yes. Again, this is not advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing in my personal portfolio. Cosmos, yes. And it's been very stable. Look at that over the year. It's up 3.5, but I mean, it's very stable, but it pays 20%. It pays 20%. Anyway, Filecoin, yes. VeChain, no. Near, no. Render, no. Regardless of their about being a part of the Apple Reality Pro headset, which they're going to announce, and they have now scaled way back on their predictions of how many units they're going to move. Graph token is a yes. I think it's quasi-fundamental, but it's not super sexy. Algorand just keeps getting dismantled. I think it's a yes, but we got to be careful. There could be a point where this thing gets to where people it becomes a meme protocol. I mean, I guess if it becomes a meme protocol, maybe it's worth it. Maybe, but it's down almost 64% on the year. Should it be down? Well, yeah. I mean, the price is always accurate. The price is always right. Is it undervalued? In my opinion, yes. However, there's a point where I'm not sure they dig themselves out of this ditch. Are they going to get back to $3.23 again? I'm not sure. I used to be more sure. I'm not so sure. I'm not so certain. This team doesn't feel like they need to communicate with humans. We are not important enough. They'll just do everything in a cloistered, in a little silo. Okay, cool. I don't like small, elite, rich groups, like the fat, rich white guy that sits in the middle of a transaction. I don't really like that guy. So, yeah, they're going to be at a point where they become the fat, rich white guy. Ocean distributed data is a yes, and it's doing okay today, and it's doing okay over the year, and it's going to do okay in the future because data is the next commodity. So all these idiots telling you to buy gold, no, that is looking in the rearview mirror. You want to look at the front of the car? What do all these AI systems, large language models, symbolic learning systems, deep neural nets, what do they all need? Data. They need pools and pools of data, anonymized and otherwise. AGIX, yay. Optimism, yeah. Dilutions, but yay. Still a yay. Arweave, yes. Fetch, yes. Borderline, maybe. Their team is kind of flopped on a couple of things. They're not quite delivering. I mean, they've delivered from us. We all got rich off of Fetch, whatever, right? Like everybody that was a digital heavyweight like everybody, you'd have to be foolish, but everybody that was a digital heavyweight December got paid like 700% on that. So you did okay. And plus you're getting 10% reward for waiting, 10% staking-ish through Cosmos Station. Harmony One's layer 2. I like it, but I can't tell anybody to buy anything because that's would be silly. Singularity DAO is a no for me. Rejuve is a no for me. Unless you're using rewards to purchase it. NewNet is a yes for me. Hypercycle is a yes. Cogito is an absolute effing no. Stay the F away. There, we've covered the markets. Yay. I like Cosmos, man, but Cosmos has become like a stable coin. HAL 9000. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, Silvio Macaulay's a beast. I think that we're going to see some layer ones partnering up with other layer ones. Like I think a good a layer one partnership would be if Algorand and Cardano work together. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Algorand's not getting it done. Cardano is getting it done. If you look at on-chain metrics, if you look at total value locked, if you look at GitHub submits, they're kind of the only one getting it done. I don't know. That gets into picking horses, but you still got to pick the best team. Okay, let's talk some AI news because there's some cool AI news. I don't quite yet have an AI thing. I'm getting one, putting some music, but whatever. So we'll just use my little it's my opinion, man.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Okay, we got some cool AI news. God, every day, the AI news every day gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more interesting, and it's tough to keep up, but it's like you just have to kind of take a breath. For anybody that's not using, I read some interesting statistics yesterday. Apparently, if you're over the age of 50, only about 1 in 3 of you has any effing clue what AI is. And that's them's not my numbers, them's numbers. Meaning, if you're over the age of 50, don't be obvious. Don't be like the caricature, meme, angry codger. Download the free ChatGPT and play with it. And then quit being cheap, spend $20, get access to GPT 3.5, GPT 4, and then you'll be like, it only goes to 2021. I only have all of the knowledge of the entire planet up to 2021. This thing is useless. So then experience the world of plugins. Anyway, if you don't know how to ask questions, because leveraging AI right now is about asking questions, asking well-prompted, well-thought-out, precise questions. If you're not doing that, God, you're going to just not exist, not only in the job world, but just period. So it's okay. I mean, one day we will all be 50, even if we're over 50. Well, you won't be 50 again. But it should not be, it should not skew like that where you're over 50 and you just don't, I don't believe in AI. What? That didn't make any sense. And also the 18 to 49 cohort, you guys need to wake the F up, because that cohort is the biggest group that says AI doesn't make a difference in my life. Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, let's talk some news. The UAE's open sourced AI model becomes royalty free. What? See, David, you're playing the game, bro. You have merit. You have value. You are an outlier, which makes you're ahead of the game, aren't you? You're more competitive. Okay. The Technology Innovation Institute, these institutes, man, TII, Falcon 40B, the UAE's leading open source AI model is now available for commercial and research use without any royalties. You're going to see this a lot more. You're going to see a lot more of these government kind of, well, you know, institute mandated government org humanitarian AI models being made available to use and implement without royalty. So Falcon 40B has achieved the top position on Hugging Face's leaderboard for large language models, surpassing competitors like Meta's Llama, which is LLAMA, and Stability AI's Stable LM. This move enables public and private sector entities to benefit from faster project starts, which is cool, flexible software development processes, community support, and easier license management. If people are like, well, what is the size of that? The model was trained on 1 trillion tokens. Let's think of tokens as little bits, little piles of information, that big bag of words. Think about like, you know, 1 trillion of them, 1 trillion. So you say, well, is that a big deal? Yeah, yep, it is. And so this is kind of cool. And this means that everybody should have access to be leveraging this technology and just make your life a little bit easier. I think search is going to go away as we know it. Like if I have a trusted Oracle, why do I search and get served 40 answers? If I have an Oracle, a system, an AI language model, an assistant, whatever you want to call it, that I trust, I'll just trust that. If I want specific links, I'll have it serve me links that I want. Now, you might argue on the other side of it, and this is maybe an alignment argument, that, hey, wait a minute, if you're just using that thing over and over, it's going to streamline and it's going to start feeding you stuff that it wants to feed you based on your desires. Yeah, that's what I want for now. And until that's a problem, that is what I want. I don't want tyranny of choice all the time. No, I want it to be easy. I want life to be easy. Okay. Finding your breakthrough AI business ideas. So there's all sorts of cool resources that you can use. There's a AI, let me reduce this. First, play with ChatGPT just to get an idea of how this stuff works. Then go either play with Midjourney, play with Stable Diffusion, or any of the diffusion models to kind of play with some artwork, right? And so there are, and then as you kind of slowly get in, you can look at plugins and things like that. The main thing is just be playing around. A good, I'll give you 3 kind of cool little resources. I'm not going to give you links because links always come with like strings attached, but there's and you can just Google this, AI business model matrix. This tells you how to combine your current skills, your interests, with advanced AI tools in really cool ways and make you just a better version of you. You can use the AI venture mindset, and this tells you how to rapidly kind of experiment and look at industries that you may have an advantage in based on your skill set. And then again, leveraging AI. They have the AI marketing cookbook, which is a place to share and promote new AI powered businesses, maximize growth, things like this. So there are lots of cool resources for you to kind of get into AI and just learn the tools. It's just like learning Windows or anything else. This is just the way we're going to operate until the humans are displaced. All right. Japan hops on the AI bandwagon in a relatively surprising move. The Japanese government has announced that it will not enforce copyrights on data used in AI training. Me likey. The decision aims to propel Japan's progress in AI technology, which the government believes has been hindered by copyright concerns, particularly related to anime and visual media. Sorry. I think this is good for Japan. There's a couple of people that drew some pictures. They're going to be frustrated, but like, so what? Okay, like, come on. While some artists and creators express worries about the devaluation of their work, the academic and business sectors are urging the government to embrace the nation's relaxed data laws to drive Japanese dominance in AI. Well, you can't drive dominance. What you can do is drive participation. So I think that's cool. NVIDIA, obviously, you guys know NVIDIA hit $1 trillion market cap for a few moments Tuesday. They're back down a little bit, but, you know, anyway, kind of cool. All right. And then finally, I would say Instacart released an AI shopping buddy. So for anybody that's used Instacart, they've announced the launch of a new AI search tool called Ask Instacart, powered by OpenAI's ChatGPT. The main investor is Microsoft. The tool aims to assist customers by providing personalized recommendations for their shopping questions. It offers product recommendations, product swaps, information on food preparation, dietary considerations, and a bunch more. You can kind of streamline your shopping research. And so this introduces AI-powered search experience, which Instacart did not have. It now does have it, and it's trying to be an all-in-one solution for food prep, shopping, and then you wouldn't need to perform tons of external searches for recommendations. It'd just be all in-house. So yeah, this is kind of cool. All right, so that's all I have to say about that. Yay, we got the what's what. If you guys are banging around these markets right now and you're looking for a good bargain, you need to reduce your thinking to the 5 T's. You need to look at the team, the timing, the tokenomics, the technology involved, right? Just do this. You want to learn, you don't have to no one has to tell you what to buy. If you look at a white paper and you go to CoinMarketCap with any project and you spend 10 minutes and you ask yourself these questions, put it on a piece of notebook, old school, use your human writing skills, old school, team, timing, technology, tokenomics, and the token. Why does the token exist? If you do this, most of you won't, but the few of you who do, if you do, you will all of a sudden kind of know what's investable, what's not, and what you should own and what you can sleep at night owning. A lot of people like, I get these weird messages. I know you can't recommend anything, but would you sell this? Okay, well, the first part of the question was correct. I don't know what to tell you to do, bro, or bro Cephas, or whatever your GD pronoun is. You have to like these assets. These are your friends. If you give them money, you traded moments of your life for money. If you take that money that you traded moments of your life for and you trade it for digital assets, which is like a mini step process, you better damn sure know what you own, man. If you have assets that you own and you don't know what it does, and you don't think it can achieve use, utility, and wide-scale adoption, what are you doing? You're gambling. You're no better than those dumbass squiggly line traders listening to stupid-ass gurus tell them stupid-ass stuff that is statistically inaccurate. Might as well be doing QE. You might as well be participating in Japanese government QQE. Like, come on, man. You have money. You traded your life that you will never get back unless AI solves death for money. Don't just light it on fire. Don't just gamble. Don't just get lazy. Like, oh, God. Ugh. All right. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to give you 2 minutes of what is deflationary money, and then we're going to call it a day. Please remember this as you move forward. When you hear all these dummies talking about inflation, still, for whatever reason, people are still talking about inflation, that is over. Like, it didn't happen. All right. What we're dealing with now is the economy where we left off in 2019, which was not good. We were going into a recession and it got put off. It got kicked down the proverbial road because people got paid money to sit at home and do nothing. And they got paid more than they had at their job. Like wise up. You can't turn the whole world off and 6 months later tell everyone we're in a great red hot economy. Sorry, Warren Buffett, you're a dumbass. That is the dumbest thing, not the dumbest thing you've ever said, but certainly the most recent dumbest thing you've ever said. I know probably a lot of it was this like cowing to your caucus, but whatever. Like, deflationary money is the world we live in. Wise up. Deflationary money refers to a type of currency or asset whose value increases over time, resulting in a decrease in the general price level of goods and services. What does it also do? Decreased consumer spending, increased debt burden, lower profits and investment, lower housing starts, higher mortgage rates, wage deflation, asset price deflation, basically all the worst parts of like Revelations, only like, financially. So, come on, peeps, like wise up. Don't just gobble up stupid crap that you hear. Don't even gobble up the stuff that you hear from us. Go out and ask questions. And you know where you should ask those questions? ChatGPT. Why? Because it's free, bro. All right. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything that my poor, insolvent, drunk, struggling on meth grandmother or Emeg or Ryan or any other. If you want to come join us for much more in-depth dig into all this kind of stuff, give a thought to joining us at Digital Heavyweights. And, we kind of pull the skirt back on a lot of this stuff. Nitty gritty, it's more like portfolio management than it is. But the most thing that I think we should probably emphasize is education. Educate yourself. And then you don't have to fall victim to dummies, gurus, garbage on Twitter, or the next 5 things that Elon or Kramer or any of the jawbone idiots on CNBC. Just stop listening to people. Start asking questions. Why? Ask why.